we have to know that people are pulling for us and pushing us and rooting for us and cheering for us and praying for us and wanting us to be okay. Community. Have you ever felt like life wasn't worth living? Or have you ever questioned it? Or have you ever questioned, how am I going to get through this? I don't even know if I want to. We need community. We need each other. I want this to become a place where we celebrate ordinary moments, those 30-second moments where we experience extraordinary momentum to have hope, to have joy, to smile, and to just keep moving forward.
Welcome to Get Real with Alexis Jones. On this podcast, we'll dive into real relationships with real people guided by the wisdom and perspective of some of the most seasoned voices in our community, our beloved seniors. Each week, we'll unpack the joys, challenges, and lessons learned about love, family, friendship, and everything in between. This is a space for heartfelt conversations, eye-opening truths, and powerful stories that will inspire and challenge the way you think about relationships. We're keeping it honest, unfiltered, and deeply meaningful. So settle in and let's get ready to get real. Let's jump in.
Hello and welcome again to another episode of Get Real with Alexis. I'm your host, Alexis, and I am especially glad that you're here today. This is a special episode. It's a very brief one, but it's a special one. I want to talk about a dance that changed everything. 30 seconds that changed everything. Let's get into it. I am completely shocked that a video I recently posted reached over 194,000 people. I'm shocked. I just need to stop right there. I've been recording these podcast episodes since, I think, March of 2025. On the average, I record once a week. And I get 200, 250, a few. I mean, it varies. I've never gotten anything that I've posted maybe over 300 views. I'm trying to make my adjustments so that I can get more viewers. I don't want more viewers just to have a number. I want to say something that you need to hear. I want to share from a place of authenticity. I want to share from a place of transparency, share my own journey and what I've learned. I want to be honest with you because I believe that people want, need, and respect honesty. I know I do. So that's what I want to be here. My very first episode, I described the circumstances surrounding my oldest son's passing. I was very transparent about what I had learned, how I had learned it, how I felt, what I needed, what I didn't need, because I know that I'm not the only one going through life's journey. And we're all going through this journey, right? So I want to say something that could help strengthen, encourage, bring a smile, bring some joy, some clarity. And that's what I want the viewers to see. Anyway, back to my topic. It was 30 seconds that changed everything. So as I said, I'm shocked that this one 30-second dance video received over 194,000 views. And this is what happened. 4 years ago, my son Brandon, he's my youngest son, entered a dance-off in the park. It always made me smile, so I never deleted the video. I would revisit it every once in a while, but not very often. However, last year, when I lost Herman, I found myself, during my grief, returning to this video over and over again because it caused me to do something I thought I would never do again. It caused me to smile. It reminded me that joy still existed within me. I may not feel it often, but it was still there. And if you're grieving or you're struggling or trying to find hope again, I hope you'll stay with me. I hope that I can say something that will bring some clarity to you. I hope that what I say will allow you to say what you need to say along your own journey. Now, I believe that music, movement, laughter, my faith, and honest conversations help us heal. And if you know me, you know I love line dancing. You know I teach line dancing. And it's more than standing in front of people, calling out steps, teaching them how to do a step, learn to dance. For me, it's way more than that. And we'll get into that either in this episode or another. But I want to stick to what I want to share with you today. So again, I believe that music and movement and laughter and faith and authentic conversations help us to heal. That's what I want this community to be about. As I said, the video that I recorded of Brandon doing a 30-second dance was never supposed to go viral. Never. And for those who haven't seen it, let's watch it together for this next 30 seconds so that we're on the same page. Okay? Okay. I've probably watched this video 100 times. So of that 194,000 viewers, 100 of them are probably my views alone. And not because it was perfect or professionally filmed, because I did it. I took my phone, I pressed record on video, and I just captured my son's movements. But because every single time I watched it, I smiled. Every single time. And it still happens now. So here's what happened. It was Father's Day 4 years ago. And we try to spend our holidays together, as many as we can. Brandon tries to be with me on Mother's Day. I try to be with him on Father's Day. And traditionally, the first thing we do is go to church, right? And so this particular Father's Day, Brandon wanted to visit his friend Dwayne's church. Shout out to Dwayne, Brandon's great friend. And so we did. Since he was going, I was going because I wanted to be with Brandon. Now, after the Father's Day service, they had a Juneteenth celebration at a nearby park. I think this church traditionally does that. They had done it the year before, and we went back the second time. So we went to this nearby church to celebrate dads and Juneteenth at the same time. So as they had done the year before, they called all dads to the stage and to have a dance off. They had a DJ and all of that. And so, of course, we were saying Brandon's children, my grandchildren, and I was like, go on, Brandon, do it. You can do this. Go, Brandon, go. And so he with his children watching, he approached the stage. Now, I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was feeling. I don't know that he was nervous, because what what you have to know about Brandon is you won't find out things about what he's thinking or feeling right away. If you find out, at least for me, as his mom, maybe this applies to just parents, but at least for me, somewhere down the road, I'll find out that he was excited, or he was nervous, or he hated it, or he loved it, or something. And I'm always shocked. So I don't know what he was thinking, but he simply decided to participate. He approached the stage, and I hit record. He didn't seem pressured. He certainly hadn't prepared for the performance, right? He didn't get up that Sunday morning and say, well, there's going to be a dance off today. I think I'll get my moves together. He just took the stage, and we all excitedly watched with anticipation when the music started. We were so excited. His children and I were relentlessly screaming for Brandon. We were his personal cheerleading squad. I had no idea that years later, that little video would become medicine for my own heart. So 3 years after saving the video, something happened that I never imagined, that no parent ever plans for, expects, or wants, or imagines. My oldest son, Herman, passed away. I got that unforgettable phone call, and when I heard the news, my first words were, "No, don't tell me that." I was screaming, "Don't tell me that." My heart shattered. The pain was unbearable. I was in total shock and disbelief. Grief changes everything. It does. My world, as I knew it, was changed. Life, as I knew it, had stopped. I was at a standstill. Everything that was familiar to me in life no longer existed. It's a time when a smile feels improbable and laughter feels impossible. You wonder if you'll ever feel like yourself again. But one day I opened my phone and I watched that video of Brandon dancing again, that 30-second video. And for 30 seconds, I wasn't thinking about that dreaded phone call that replayed over and over again in my mind and in my heart. I wasn't thinking about the hospital visit, which was the last time I saw him. I wasn't thinking about the celebration of life service. I wasn't thinking about what I had lost. For 30 seconds, I was simply smiling. You see, joy isn't betrayal, as we often feel that it is. It was one of the hardest lessons that I had to learn. And it's a hard lesson for many grieving people, because many of us secretly feel guilty if we laugh. How dare I laugh? I just lost my son. How dare I laugh? I just lost my marriage, or I just lost this or that, whatever that thing is, whatever that trauma is. How dare I laugh? Sometimes we feel that if we laugh, we're forgetting. If we dance, oh, we've decided to just move on. And if we're happy, somehow we're dishonoring the people we love. Somehow we've just moved away, moved on. But I've learned something along this journey. I have. I've learned that joy doesn't replace grief. Joy gives grief a place to rest. And boy, does grief need a place to rest, because grief is exhausting. Grief needs a place to rest. We need a break from the grief that we carry. And we carry this grief. It doesn't disappear. But joy gives grief a place to rest. I've learned that the heart is big enough to hold tears and laughter at the very same time. So, let's talk about dancing. Why do we dance? We've danced throughout history, weddings, other celebrations, church, family reunions, even after hardship. I know you're aware that enslaved people found a place deep in the fields. At the end of the day, they would find a place to gather where they couldn't be seen or heard, and they would dance. Movement reminds us that we're still alive, that we're still here, that God isn't finished, that our story is not over. The scripture says in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 4, there's a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. I think God knew we'd need both. So, this is my rebrand. So I want to paint the vision. That 30-second video exposed something. When I saw all of those views, I wasn't just excited, and I'm still excited about that. But I wanted to understand why that video received so many views. I wanted to understand, what are you saying to me? What is God saying to me? What is being revealed here? I've been asking the question since I started these podcasts, right after Herman passed away. I've been asking the questions, what exactly am I supposed to present to you, to give to you, to offer you? And though I've been doing many, many episodes, I'm still asking myself that question. But this 30-second dance video changed everything. It brought me clarity and focus and passion for what I'm going to do moving forward. I'm not saying everything will change drastically. Here's what I'm saying. A lot of times when we're doing something, even if it's a good thing, it might not be the thing that we need to zero in on. It might not, I always say this in the church community, a good thing is not always a God thing. Because you see, God has a purpose for each of our lives. He has a purpose for us, even in tragedy and trauma and loss and grief. There's a purpose behind that pain. There is something that when we reach a place where we can continue to move forward a step at a time, teeny weeny steps at a time, there is still something for us to do. As I said earlier, our story is still being written. It's not over. And so those 194,000 views made me sit down and think, what just happened? What did people see, need, feel, want, that they would return to this video and obviously share it? What did they see? What did they feel? Why did it reach so many people? I don't think people came just to see Brandon dance. I'm his mom. And the reason I enjoy him dancing is not because he's got these incredible dance moves. I mean, Michael Jackson, I was watching an old video sometime this past week. It just popped up in my feed on YouTube. And I'm just amazed at how he could move. I've always enjoyed dance. I liked modern dance. I liked ballet. I like square dancing. I enjoy dancing. But I don't think people return to this video that I made of my son dancing because they came for the dancing. I think they came looking for something else. Maybe they came looking for hope. Maybe they came looking for joy. Maybe they came because, like me, they just wanted a moment to smile. Something happened inside of them, just like something happened inside of me that made me want to watch it over and over again. So this podcast community, Get Real with Alexis, isn't about perfect dancing or perfect anything. It's about living. It's about living and not just existing. It's about healing because all of us have something from which we need to heal, right? It's about my senior community, my faith community. It's about my friends, my family, my line dance community. And my line dance community in many ways has become like my family. And it's for others who just refuse to quit, who it's for those who are looking for community, because we need community to just keep moving forward. And we must keep moving forward. Even when there are days when we're at a standstill. I had a space and time like that recently where I couldn't take a step forward. I just couldn't. Things were happening that just had me frozen in place. Life can do that. But we can't abandon our community. We have to know that people are pulling for us and pushing us and rooting for us and cheering for us and praying for us and wanting us to be okay. Community. That's what I want Get Real with Alexis to be. I want it to be a community. Whether there are 50 of us or 50,000 of us, I want community. We need that. God created us for community. So this community is for us, for including parents who keep showing up and families who choose joy and people who love God, people who are hurting, people who simply need someone to remind them that no matter what we're going through, life is still worth living. It's still worth living. Have you ever felt like life wasn't worth living? Or have you ever questioned it? Or have you ever questioned, how am I going to get through this? I don't even know if I want to. We need community. We need each other. I want this to become a place where we celebrate ordinary moments, those 30-second moments where we experience extraordinary momentum to have hope, to have joy, to smile, and to just keep moving forward. So, I believe Brandon taught me something that day in the park. Children can teach you a lot. We might not want to admit it, but they can teach us something. I believe he taught me something that day although neither of us knew it. Because he wasn't trying to be famous. He's not the kind of kid, I know he's grown. He's he's 45. He's 45. He is definitely not a kid, but he's my kid. He wasn't trying to be famous. He wasn't trying to be seen. He was probably as nervous as he could be. But he wasn't trying to go viral. He never imagined that this many views would be on him. All I did was post a video. They weren't looking at me. They were looking at him. That possibility of going viral it wasn't even on the radar. Brandon was simply showing his children. And if you watched any of my past videos, I said this because I interviewed him about that video. But if you haven't seen it, let me just tell you, this is why he stepped onto that stage in that park among all those strangers. He was simply showing his children what courage looks like. He didn't decide to just dance. He decided, I need to show up for my kids. They are watching me. So when I say tomorrow, next month, next year, or in years to come, you can do this. You can do it whether you're afraid or not. Yeah, you're going to be nervous, but you can do this. It's more than words. He can say, remember the time? Remember the time when action speaks louder than words, right? So when Brandon stepped onto that stage in the park with all those folks watching, he wanted to show his own children that it's okay to put yourself out there, even when you're nervous and even at the risk of looking foolish. Sometimes courage looks like stepping onto a dance stage in a park filled with people you've never seen before, not knowing how they're going to react. By the way, I told you I watched the video many times. The last few times that I watched the video, I looked at the expression of people's face. Next time you watch the video, enlarge it and take your eyes off Brandon and look at the people who are watching him and see the joy in their faces. It brought me joy just to see their joy in their faces. I don't know what these people are facing in their lives, but I do know this. Everybody faces something sometimes. Everybody has a story. So sometimes courage looks like stepping onto a dance stage. Sometimes it looks like getting out of bed after losing someone that you love. Just getting out of bed. Sometimes courage is smiling again. So if this video found you at exactly the moment you needed it, I don't believe that's an accident. In fact, I don't even believe in accidents. I believe there are incidences, but I believe that there's a purpose in everything. And I am so grateful that you're here. And I hope you'll stay with me. I hope you'll stay because this community is more than dancing. It's about finding joy again. Finding joy. One song, one conversation, one step, one day, one moment at a time. Now, before we leave, I'd love to hear from you. Because we're community, I'm going to ask you to do something. I want you to write in the comments, what brings you joy when life gets hard? Maybe it's music, maybe it's dancing, maybe it's your grandchildren, your ride or die friends, maybe it's your faith. Share it in the comments because someone reading your words may need to hear exactly what you have to say, because it's not just about me. If this is a community that we are building, it's about us. And if this conversation encouraged you, I hope you'll join me as we continue to build community where music, movement, faith, laughter, and honest, authentic conversations remind us that joy is still possible. Remember, joy isn't the absence of pain. It isn't. It's the courage to keep living through it. Thank you for joining me today. Today was a relaunch or reboot or restart or rebrand. And I need you with me on this journey. My prayer is that you leave each episode with a little more hope and a little more courage, one more reason to smile. Remember, healing doesn't usually happen all at once. It happens one conversation, one song, one step, and one day at a time. So until next time, keep moving, keep believing, and keep finding joy. See you next time.